Yo, what's up, gamers? WQ here, gamers. Make sure to subscribe right now and you become an alpha gamer. Gamers, in the Bionicle speedrunning community, there was a serious issue with a user named Yellow Torpedo. He took his name quite literally and actually allegedly solicited nude photographs from a 14-year-old girl and a 17-year-old girl. He was banned and anonymized on speedrun.com for these accusations. Now, we talk on this channel a lot about people being removed from speedrun.com for loose accusations or for accusations with basically zero evidence. But this guy was removed from the leaderboards for serious allegations that actually had quite a bit of evidence. Let's look into these allegations, and we're going to talk about, do you think it was okay to ban this guy or remove him or anonymize him from the leaderboards on speedrun.com because he was guilty of these actions? Legally, I can't say that he's guilty, but a user named Olivia, also known as Anemoeac, she claims that Yellow Torpedo, or Torp, who is the Bionicle speedrunner, has used my underage body for their pleasure since 2018. I've lovingly created a collection in the hundreds of CP to get them off. Apparently they dated online for about 8 months, maybe even a year and a half. It's not exactly clear, but what is clear is that she was sending him nude photographs, and at one point he admits that he was saving them, and he has, in his words, 472 either nude or lewd photos and videos of her. She also claims that she was 14 years old when she was sending a lot of these photos. He knew she was 14, and he was 22 years old at the time. To me, this is a very clear case of child grooming. On top of that, if he's saving pictures of her that she's sending him, that's possession of CP, which is a very serious crime. Now, she admits that a lot of this she initiated, and she tries to accept some blame for that, which I applaud her on. Personally, I think that if she wants to get healthy, she needs to take accountability and responsibility for the stuff that she did. But in this situation, how can you really blame her? First of all, she's 14 and he's 22. Second of all, Torp, the guy in this situation, actually tried to get their messaging, their illicit messaging, off of an SMS text messaging and onto an encrypted text messaging apps like WhatsApp. Look at this conversation. Torp says, "Hey, did we have a conversation about texting?" We're gonna call the victim here Olivia. That's how she referred to herself as. She says, and then he says, like how we should not use SMS. And then he says, "I thought we did, but I guess it was just a dream." She says SMS, and he says, "Yeah, like actually texting. And she says, "No, question mark." Torp then says, "I don't know, we were doing it for some reason, and you were like, you know, honey, we should really stick to WhatsApp or something encrypted. Anyone can read this stuff right here." And I was like, "You're so right, babe. I guess it was just a dream I was talking." Wait a minute. That's an oddly specific dream you had there, Yellow Torpedo. I'm not sure what "we were doing it" means, but if he had a dream that he was having sex with a 14-year-old and then decided that instead of texting, we should use an encrypted voice messenger like WhatsApp or Signal, that seems oddly specific. I also like how he actually blames her for this in his dream offhandedly. This is why I have a really hard time blaming her for it, even though she actually claims that. I want to make it clear that while I initiated most of what we did, he as an adult, etc., etc., I have a really hard time blaming her for that. In a way, this guy definitely abused his situation and manipulated her. On top of that, he actually has a second victim a year later. Another girl that was 17 years old allegedly sent him over 1,000 messages. The second victim did not show as much evidence, but I actually believe what she's saying just because of the amount of clean evidence in the first victim's statement. For example, Olivia, the first victim, she actually has proof that Torpedo knew that she was 14 years old. I think that's really good evidence. I think she made a really clear case here. I'm glad that she came out and spoke about this. Something I'm very unhappy about and I think is very unfortunate. I talked to a number of people, although I wasn't able to contact her. Nobody, from what I understand, actually filed a police report against him, which I think there needs to be a police report, or the FBI or Child Protective Services need to be contacted about this, because he still almost certainly has nude photos and videos of her, numbering in the hundreds or even in the thousands of another victim as well. That's a serious problem. This guy actually has most likely access to CP on his person. This could haunt her for the rest of her life. It's something that I don't think she can just forget about. Even if she does forget about, it can be used to blackmail her in the future. These photos could be sold to other people, which then could be used to blackmail her. These photos could be circulated online. Why is it okay for this guy to pretty much get off scot-free for this stuff? He didn't even delete his social media or exit the internet. His Twitter is still active. He just privated it. His Twitch channel, you can't find his Twitch channel. That's because he changed the name on his Twitch channel. It's the same with his YouTube channel. I even checked out his Speedrun.com account. He's still active on Speedrun.com. So this guy who is a child predator, again, let me be very clear here. He was 22 and 23 when he was sexting teenagers as young as 14 years old. More than one, that's a predator. That's a problem in the community that needs legal action. I highly encourage anybody that either knows his full name or her full name, you need to tell the police about this. This is a serious problem that could have serious consequences very far into the future, and it's at least abusive right now for what it is. Anyway, moving on, this brings up another question about the leaderboards, and should we keep or should we remove this guy's speedruns on the leaderboards? In a way, he was abusing his position of power in order to take advantage of people, but I don't think he was specifically abusing Speedrun.com or the leaderboards. More likely he was abusing his stream platform and his Discord platform, not necessarily Speedrun.com. I think Speedrun.com is kind of failing as a leaderboard. It functions much closer to a social media website and not really as a leaderboard. Banning pedos on a social media website, I think, is a very good idea. Banning people on a leaderboard because of stuff they did unrelated to the speedrun doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I think this line is being blurred because of this problem where Speedrun.com does function closer to a social media website. Another problem I have with removing or anonymizing times on Speedrun.com of people that the moderators don't like, there doesn't seem to be a standard that's set. For example, this guy, it's pretty clear that this guy's a predator. He's a problem in the community and something legally needs to be done about him. But for a lot of the other cases of people we've seen removed from the leaderboards, they're not even remotely close to this guy. For example, Stiv, and I asked the Bionicle community, they actually brought up Stiv when they decided to anonymize Torpedo's times. Well, Stiv is not even close to this. Stiv dealt with a girl that was 18. She's of legal age. On top of that, the accusations against Stiv that he R-worded Tolkien, well, guess what? There's zero evidence for that. There was no screenshots, no text messages. There was no corroborating stories. There were no witnesses. And a lot of people said that she's wrong and she's lying. In fact, Giant Waffle explicitly stated that she lied and he was not involved. So wait a minute. How is it fair to compare Stiv to Torpedo? They have the same punishment, but a very different alleged crime. Another guy like Burglar, he didn't even do anything. He simply said political opinions that disagreed with the Mega Man X moderators, and Caleb Hart, we don't even know why he was removed from the Mega Man X leaderboards. So why are they lumped into the same group of people as Yellow Torpedo and a few other speedrunners? To me, that's a little bit ridiculous, and I think it's really unfair to people on the outside of Speedrun.com and to the people who are being banned from the leaderboards from baseless or false allegations. There's this attitude in the speedrunning community, and I've seen it in the Smash community too, where if you ban or you outcast a guy for doing these terrible crimes, then problem solved, and I'm glad everybody moved on, and I hope the victims heal. But I think this is a pretty dumb precedent that's set because, for example, in the Smash community, a Smasher named Sleepy K actually was sexting a 14-year-old. He eventually asked her to meet up in person. Guys, this is a very serious crime, and people go to jail for this for many years. When Sleepy K was discovered that he was basically a predator, he says, "I am unsure what the right thing to do is, but it seems a write-up is not it. I am very sorry, and I know what I did was unforgivable and inexcusable. I have made attempts to seek help, and I will not interact with the community at all. If deactivating my account is the right thing to do, I will. But that would delete my tweets, I think." Somebody says, "Leave this community and never come back." He responds, "I will." That's great and all, but it doesn't solve the problem at all that you have an actual child predator with another good 30 years of his life walking around the neighborhoods completely ignored by the police. This guy needs to be in jail. Sleepy K, the right thing to do would be to go to jail and get yourself arrested. That's the morally right thing to do because you were literally predatory towards children. Like, you need to be in prison for that, dude. At the end of the day, the only thing we can really do about this, guys, is become alpha gamers by subscribing right now, but also in general and in your life and in your daily activities. If you become more alpha and you have a good set of morals and good guidance in this world, and you put family and community first, you need to be winning. You need to be at the forefront of success and competition. You need to be in the spotlight because it drives these predators like Sleepy K. It drives them away, and it drives predatory moderators in the speedrunning community like Yellow Torpedo. It drives them away. I can tell you firsthand, predators hate me. Internet predators hate me. Teenager predators hate me. Even just random people who love abusing their moderator privileges in speedrunning, they hate my guts. That's because these guys are immoral, they're guilty, and they know they're guilty. It's one of the reasons I spread alpha gaming as a message, because I want people to do better in society. Something that really bothered me about this situation, it seemed like you had a healthy young individual that was sexually abused online, and then they seemed to turn to social justice to help them overcome their problems, except social justice never solves anything. It doesn't help anybody overcome their problems in reality. Even though I think to a lot of young, impressionable women, it does look like it's a real solution, and this is right, and this is morally a good thing. But as we all know, social justice doesn't operate under that hemisphere, and then it doesn't care about solving problems at all. For example, the guy is still out there. You still have a predator pretty much out there, totally free to do whatever he wants and go find more victims when he gets older. I don't know why Olivia felt the need and felt pressured to send nude photos of her to get a guy to like her and to get a guy to give her attention. I don't think it's just her though that's doing this. I think there's a larger issue in society with sexuality and pornography, and I've talked about this in a previous video where it seems like a lot of kids get really addicted to porn at a very young age, and I think this issue has been growing over the past 2 decades, and it's been seriously affecting women in recent memory. Originally, when I was younger, it was all the guys that constantly looked at porn. It wasn't the women, but nowadays it seems more and more common for women to be either addicted to porn or they themselves become amateur porn stars on something like OnlyFans. It's a really bad thing that OnlyFans is so accepted in society, and it's treated like a social media website like Facebook is.
Welcome to OnlyFans. OnlyFans is a social media platform similar to those you use already.
Yeah, we all really know what's going on. It's a platform that's basically grooming young women to become porn stars, and this is very negatively affecting their ability to create families, excel in a healthy family environment, make stable relationships with other people, especially including men. How are they going to find a guy, have a husband, create a family, and raise children in a stable environment if they spend their entire teens and early 20s being a porn star or just being abused in a sexual relationship with older men? It's going to create a very negative balance. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this video. If you support my content, make sure to subscribe. You're going to become an alpha gamer and lead in the fight against political correctness in the gaming world and lead the fight against immorality in society, which is damaging and ruining a huge part of society. If you want to financially support me, Patreon is a really good way to support me. You can also go to my Twitch channel, which is currently banned, and subscribe with Twitch Prime or just subscribe as a regular sub. Also, I'm going to be doing more drama streams on YouTube. Subscribing and becoming a member on YouTube or using the super chat function is actually a pretty good way to support me as well. I'll see you guys for the next video. Make sure to stay alert, stay alpha. We're definitely going to overcome these problems. We're going to solve them. Society is going to be a better place for our youth.